Hello, I'm John and I'm going to show you how to re-grip a tennis racket. As you can see here, I've got one of my old tennis rackets and you can definitely see that the grip has definitely worn out here. I haven't used this one for a very long time, and so I need to change the grip, and I'll just show you a way of doing it. I say a way because there are probably many ways of doing it, but this is the way that I do it and it seems to work. Firstly, this racket has actually got on it, you can see here, this racket, it's got an overgrip on it, which means the original plan grip is still there. You get a thin overgrip which goes on, and most people use an overgrip, including the professionals. So first of all, we're going to take off the old overgrip. It's got some securing tape at the top here, so I'm just taking that off. Okay, so then we're going to go down. You can see this one had a couple of layers of the tape at the top here, so I'm just going to get rid of that. You can see at the top it's got this sort of sealing tape just around here where you start to get the handle. So I'm just going to peel that off, and as you can see, we've got the overgrip just here, and I should, all being well, just be able to peel that and it will uncoil. So just uncoiling the old overgrip. You can get them in a variety of colours. Obviously this one was bright red. Normally I would use a black one or whatever, but you can use whatever colour, black, white ones, whatever colour is your particular preference. And then you can see what we've got here is when you buy a racket, it would normally come with a leather or synthetic leather grip. Now on the grip there, the main grip has foam underneath often to give you some cushioning and padding. So you could play with it as new with the original grip, but if that starts to get worn or it's just too slippery for you, then you put an overgrip on. So we've just taken off an overgrip, so you can see the original grip here with the padding underneath, etc. We keep that on, and the next thing we do is we're going to put on an overgrip. There are many brands of overgrip. This one's happen to be Head, but you can get Wilson ones and all sorts, so depending on your preference, and they've all got a different feel and tackiness. And you can see this one here, when you buy it beforehand, you can do a sample by testing, because they put some on the outside so you can see. I like a very tacky grip, which means I can grip it firmly, even if I'm in a hard match and my hands get a bit sweaty, I've still got plenty of grip. So just taking out one of the overgrips. You can see here, first thing is, you've got the tape at the top which will secure the overgrip just at the top of the handle once we put it on there. So I'm going to just take that off there. And then we've got the overgrip itself, so I'm just uncoiling that. It comes with a protective plastic film to stop it sticking to itself. So you can see here, we've got that protective plastic film. Now, one thing is you may want the writing, if there's any writing on your particular overgrip. In this case, we've got it here. There is some writing on this one. It's telling you what the grip is. You might want that facing a particular way. I would like it so that that faces, so if you pick up the racket with the head upwards, you'll see what the writing is. So you have to work out which way you want to apply the grip to get that to work. Once we're ready to apply the overgrip, I just take the overgrip itself. I'm going to start peeling back the plastic film a little way, make it easier for myself. And then what you've got to do is to line up the overgrip with the top or bottom, the butt of your racket just here. You can see, so that's lined up nicely, so it comes right to the end of the racket. So lining it up right there, and there's a little bit of tape that's applied on the overgrip, and that's going to hold it in place to get me started. So now I'm just going to take off the protective film from the tape. So I've got a sticky bit on my overgrip. Here's the racket, here's the butt of the racket, and I'm just lining it up with the very top here, so where I want it to be. So that's about where the original grip is, just here. I'm just lining it up here, and that should stick, all being well. Yes, it does. There. So what I'm going to do is now I just wrap it round keeping level with the bottom of with the butts going all the way around the butt of the racket, peeling back some of the plastic film. A bit more of that's come off here. Peel that back. Is I'm going to take off the rest of the plastic film. So I'm just going to pull that down and it should come off. So just uncoil this a bit. And you can see I'm just pulling off the rest of the plastic film. Okay, so now we've got our overgrip. We started by just putting it on with the sticky part of it just at the very top. I go round level with the butt of the racket, just here, making sure I'm just at the edge of the butt of the racket, going right the way round, and I cover where I'd started, so I cover the little spot where I stuck it on. You can see I've gone completely round, and then I just pull it down to put it at an angle. So it's not quite 45 degrees, but I'm pulling it down just so I get about a 1 millimeter overlap. So 1 to 2 millimeter overlap, and I'm going to go round in a coiled direction. Here we are. So going round, in this case I happen to be going anti-clockwise, round, and I'm just going round again, but now I'm doing it at a slight angle, so it's not going to just keep going round and round in the same spot. I'm going to work my way down like in a spiral, a bit like a helter-skelter, but I'm overlapping each one by about 1 to 2 millimeters, depending on how thick you want it. So 1 to 2 millimeters is good for me. I'm just going to wind that down. You can see I'm just working my way around. Try not to get too many wrinkles in it. If you can go back and just undo it a bit if necessary. You can see here, if you need to, just go back, unwind a little bit, and then just get that to be smooth as you can. You won't really notice it if it's a little bit of a wrinkle in there, but make sure it overlaps. That's the key thing. So you just keep working your way down in a spiral at an angle, overlapping by about 1 to 2 millimeters, depending on what you want there, and you keep going round. And okay, I'll carry on with this. Just working my way around the racket. So just continue working your way down. Now I pull it quite taut, quite tight as I wrap it round, and that means that the overgrip will be a little bit thinner. If you want it to be a bit thicker, you prefer that, then don't pull it quite so tight, but I find it works better for me, both when I'm putting the grip on and actually when I'm playing, if I've actually pulled this quite tight as I'm doing this and rotating it around. So when you get to the top of the racket here, near the throat of the racket, then you want to do it. So we've used the spiral to come down, and now I'm just at the point where the tape was there before, at the top of the handle, and then I just go back to going round horizontally. So instead of it being at an angle now, I just go round. I only need to go round once. I just go round here. So I'll show you that in a bit more detail. I've come down, I'm at my helter-skelter angle still, and I'm just going to go round. I get to the top where the handle ends, near the throat of the racket, and I'm just going to go round horizontally here. And so I've gone round horizontally. You can see I'm at the top of the racket, and that's where I'm going to finish it, just here. Now I tend to finish it on this, with the racket this way round rather than this way round, because then when I'm playing, my hand's not on there so much, on the top there, but it's up to you. Just bring it round so you've got it wrapped all the way around, right to the top of the handle here. That's fine. And then next thing I'm going to do is put the tape on to secure it at the top. So you can use some scissors if you're confident you've gone all the way around there, you've got a good covering of the whole lot. I'm going to finish mine just here. So I'm just going to cut, I'm going to finish it just here. I'm just going to cut this off. I've got some scissors here. You could do it without scissors, just keep wrapping it round. It's up to you. I have some scissors here, so I'm just going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it at an angle. You can see, I'll show you in a moment. So I've gone round horizontally at the top of the handle here, and I'm just going to wrap that round. And depending on how sticky your grip is, that will almost sit in by itself now. So that's more or less what the finished overgrip will look like. I just need to secure it now with the tape at the very top. So if you remember earlier on, we took that off, which was on the overgrip. Then these should being the operative word, these should, here we are, undo. You've got to be a little bit careful here because they often stick to themselves. Once you've managed to separate and open up the tape, so it's one long strip, the next thing, which is often the fiddliest part, is to peel off the backing which protects it, because you've got the sticky side underneath. So I would peel a little bit of that off, not all of it in case it sticks to itself again. Then find your end where you've finished off wrapping round, and I've cut in my case to put an angle on it, the overgrip just here where my finger is. And then it's just a case of firstly making sure that if you've got any writing, like we've got the word head, and I want that to be the correct way up. So if I'm holding the racket up like that, I could read the word head if I wanted to. So I want to put the tape on that way round. It's not that important, but it's up to you. Depends on what's written on your piece of tape here. So I'm just peeling back some of the protective film on the inside of the tape, and I'm just literally going to put the end of the tape back into place here where I want it to go, and then I can start, so I go across the end, so half on the end of the tape and half onto the frame of the racket, you can see here, and I'm just going to hold that round, and it goes round, so it's on the top of the tape and onto the frame of the racket, and then I can peel off the rest of the protective film from the tape, and then I just carefully wrap that round the top going horizontally to make sure it covers it. And then if there's any left, I would go down a bit and just overlap it with some more of the overgrip, just going round there, putting it in shape, and then just go around the top, make sure that's all sealed, make sure it's just firmly in place. Press down on your overgrip there. With the tackiness, it will stick to itself, generally speaking. Make sure your tape's in place, and then there you have it. It's nicely aligned at the bottom there with the butt, doesn't overhang at all. You've got my coil going down there, and then I've got the horizontal bit at the top, and I put the tape on there. I'm ready to play. This racket is good to play again. Thanks very much.